Can we move a little closer?
Yeah, we can.
What's up, guys? It's the Raw Prospect Podcast. We're moving. We're moving the desk up just a touch. All right. Today we're doing NFL predictions, and we got a special guest on the show.
So, Mark Thompson. This is one of our favorite things to do every year, even though sometimes it doesn't go the best.
As planned.
It's our NFL predictions.
Yeah, but even before the podcast, we always used to make predictions.
Regular season.
Nerdy like that. We used to do it on pen and paper, and we used to write down every pick we made and then look at the end of the year and see how bad we did.
So we'll get started.
Tradition.
I think we're going to go by division, and then we'll talk about each division.
Yeah.
So you want to start in the AFC or the NFC?
Let's start in the AFC.
Okay. So we can start AFC North, AFC East. Where do you want to
go? Start AFC North.
Okay. You go ahead.
All right. I got the AFC North as a 2-horse race.
Yep.
Steelers 13-3, Browns 11-5,
Wow.
Ravens 9-7, Bengals 3-13. I'll explain myself later.
Okay. I have my Steelers 11-5. I have the Browns 10-6, Baltimore 9-7, and the Bengals 4-12.
Well, the reason I have the Steelers record like that, it seems weird, but the thing is, in the regular season, it seems like the Steelers play their best against the Patriots. Like they challenge themselves to play their best against them every year. And like last year when they played the Patriots, I think that was their peak of their season. So if they can get that game out of the gate, they've got winnable games. They've got the Seahawks at home. That's going to be difficult, but I mean, I think the defense will be improved, and also the Steelers' front seven, I think they win that battle against the Seahawks' offensive line. I think that's going to be the deciding factor in that game. And
it's their Heinz Field opener, which is
of course, their record in their home openers is like
it's crazy. I don't have the exact stat. But keep going.
Yeah. And then the Niners, that's a dub. Bengals, that's a dub. And then Ravens at home, that's a coin flip.
Yeah, it could go.
It can go either way. I have them splitting the series.
Okay.
So that's usually how it goes. It's normally just a coin flip. And then the Chargers game, my gut was just telling me to pick the Steelers. No particular reason there. I think they're just going to want revenge for what happened last year with all the missed calls and all that drama. And also, Los Angeles, I almost said San Diego. Los Angeles, they have a terrible home field advantage. They don't have any home field advantage, honestly. They play in the tiny soccer stadium, and fans tend to not show up. So that's that. And then the Dolphins, that's off a bye week. That should be simple. And then the Colts, I originally had the Colts winning that game, but I switched it. We'll see how that game goes. That's another one of those coin flips where you can't really gauge how it's going to be so many weeks in the future. I have them losing to the Rams in week 10.
Okay.
And then
that's fair.
And then they win against the Browns in Cleveland, win against Cincinnati, and then they lose to the Browns.
At home. Okay.
And then, either way, it'll offset itself. Like if they win the home game, they lose the away game, still offset each other. And then they'll beat the Cardinals, they'll beat the Bills, the Jets, and then I have them losing to the Ravens.
Yeah.
And then
I'll run through my Steelers predictions real quick because I'm a Steelers fan. I had the same thing as you. Historically, New England doesn't play well in their home openers.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Kansas City go in there and whip up on them. I mean, we've seen it multiple times. I think they're motivated to come out and prove to people that they're still the Pittsburgh Steelers because some people are doubting them. I think they'll win that game. They'll come home. They'll beat Seattle. I have them losing to San Francisco. It's just one of those Pittsburgh Steelers type games. They don't play well historically on the West Coast. They lost the Raiders last year in a game they should have never lost. I think they'll be a little high on themselves after beating New England and Seattle. They'll come in a little flat, lose to San Francisco. Plus, they got to travel all the way across the country.
And that's understandable. Everybody's gotten high in San Francisco. Keep going.
They'll kill the Bengals at home. I haven't beaten the Ravens. Also, the Chargers, I think it's going to be close again. I haven't taken the L there. Miami at home, they'll win that. I have them splitting the Indianapolis LA homestand. So I think they'll beat the Colts and they'll lose to the Rams. I think on a short week after getting the Rams, I think we'll be tired. I think we'll lose to Cleveland in Cleveland, which is pretty crazy to say because did you know Ben Roethlisberger has the most wins of any starting quarterback in Cleveland Browns Stadium, including Cleveland Browns quarterbacks since like 2000, since he was drafted? It's pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, it's not that crazy when you think about it because they've had like 20 quarterbacks. So.
I have them losing that game. Cincinnati, they'll win that game. They'll beat Cleveland at home. This is where they kind of peak. They'll beat Arizona. They'll beat Buffalo. I have them beating the Jets too, so that's 5 straight victories. And I think they'll be in the playoffs by then. I think they'll win the division, and they'll rest some starters, and they'll lose to Baltimore. So 11-5 for me.
Okay, so you have them. Okay, so the only differences was the Chargers and
49ers.
Chargers and 49ers. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I can definitely see that because they're typically early in the season you'll slip up 1 or 2, so that's understandable. Let's talk about the Ravens for a second before we move on to the Browns. What did you have them as?
The Ravens 9-7.
Yeah, I had them at 9-7 as well. The thing is, I had them coming out 2-2 out of the gate, and then they just they win. I have them winning. Page closed on me. Okay, I have them winning their last 5 games. So
it's just hard to say with Baltimore. I think some games you're going to see, teams aren't going to be ready for them. They're kind of hard to game plan for.
Right.
They're going to be a tough out every single game.
Right. It's just so unorthodox.
It's just they lost so much talent on their defense. They lost C.J. Mosley. They lost some guys in the secondary. They lost Terrell Suggs, who's been there for a while as the leader of that defense.
Mm-hmm.
They still have a good secondary. It's not as good as it was last year. It will all depend on if they can replace that front 7 talent and if Lamar Jackson can be more of a thrower. I do not think they're going to be able to run the ball as much as they did last year for 16 games and make the playoffs. They're going to have to find ways to get the ball down the football field by throwing the ball. I think they'll be in the mix, and then I don't know. I think there's just too much.
Yeah, you can't make the play. You can't make the playoffs off his defense.
Yeah,
so
running the ball defense. So
yeah, unless you're the 2017 Jaguars, but that was a fluke.
That's true. They did have pretty good
They just ran
defense.
the ball and played defense.
Yep, that's true. I mean, they did make it to the AFC Championship like that.
So
I
don't think we want to talk. Do you want to mention the Bengals? I mean,
Bengals.
Yeah.
Whatever.
we should talk about the Browns though.
Yeah, the Browns, of course. I have them sneaking in the playoffs as a 6 seed.
I do too.
They start off with 2 bunnies, Titans and Jets. I think a key for the Browns this season, something to look at, is they're going to have to be really efficient on the road this season because some of their easier games are all on the road. They have the Jets on the road. They have the 49ers on the road, Broncos on the road. So they're going to have to be really solid on the road because they'll have their tough games at home, like against the Rams and the Patriots on the road. But you get my point.
Yeah. John Dorsey's done an incredible job of getting Baker Mayfield the needed talent. He has so much talent on the offensive side. He acquired Odell Beckham and Olivier Vernon in that trade with the Giants. They have Nick Chubb. They'll have Kareem Hunt coming back week 9. They have one of the best tight ends in football. I think it's going to really break out this year, David Njoku. They still have Jarvis Landry, who's a very reliable slot receiver. And then you move to the defensive side of the ball. Olivier Vernon, Myles Garrett, the rookie corner, what's his name?
The dude that's yeah. Well, he was last year's rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new guy's from Miami, I think. Greedy Williams,
yes. Right. LSU. Myles Garrett. They acquired Sheldon Richardson. They have Olivier Vernon, Denzel Ward, and Demarius Randall, and Morgan Burnett in the secondary. I just think some games they'll be kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I think they're going to have ups and downs. Their highs will be really high. It's just when they hit their lows, can new coach Freddie Kitchens kind of corral the locker room and be able to get things back on track? Because if it starts going downhill, then people start talking in the locker room, and Baker Mayfield's personality, if that gets out of hand, it could go downhill for the Browns real fast.
Right.
But I think they have enough talent to overcome some of the problems that they have. I think they could be like, I'm not going to compare them to the Steelers, but in some ways, I think it could be like Pittsburgh, where you have some distractions, but you're able to overcome them in the regular season because you have so much talent.
Right. The thing is with the Browns is we're going to have to find out what their identity is, because they have the potential to be really great defensively, but they also have the potential to be really great offensively. Mm-hmm. So it's like it feels like one of them might be lacking on different days.
Exactly.
That's just how it feels to me, because they have so much talent on defense that I don't know if it's going to mesh, and it's the same thing on offense as well. But I feel like it'll be easier to mesh on offense since they have an offensive minded head coach, Freddie Kitchens. But they're going to be a fun team to watch. That's for sure. I don't really know what to make of them in terms of what they'll do if they make the playoffs, like how far they'll go. But I don't
think they'll win a game. I think they're going to end up having to go in either. If they're the 6th seed, I'd probably have them going to
Kansas City, or
either Kansas City or maybe
even San Diego or New England. Yeah, it would be rough.
Yeah.
So
that's the AFC North. So to recap, I had Pittsburgh 11-5. Cleveland 10-6, sneaking in as a 6th seed in the AFC playoffs. Baltimore looking outside in 9-7, and the Bengals winning some easy games 4-12. They have Andy Dalton, who's okay, below average.
Mm-hmm.
They have AJ Green, but the question is he healthy?
Right.
They have Tyler Boyd, who was kind of a breakout last year. That's a bright spot. They have Tyler Eifert, who is talented, but
he can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy. And they have talent. They've always had talent on their front seven.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But it's just,
last year, so uncharacteristically, out of nowhere, they were one of the worst defenses ever.
They were one of the,
even though they have so much talent on that team, it's like they just gave up.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
they have a new coach, Zach Taylor. So maybe he can do some things with Andy Dalton. I don't know how late it's getting, but maybe he can fix some things. But I just don't. I think it's going to be a rough year for Cincinnati.
For sure. It's a rebuild.
Do you want to go to we'll just move to the AFC East real quick.
Yeah.
So you go ahead.
Okay, AFC East. Patriots 12-4.
Agreed.
Jets 5-11. Bills 4-12. Dolphins 2-14.
Similar, except I'm a little higher on the Jets than you are. Patriots 12-4. This might sound crazy. I have the Jets winning 9 games, 9-7. Bills 4-12. Dolphins. Sorry, Dolphins fans, you're winning 1 game this year.
I can see that.
I don't think it's gonna. I think you guys should tank for Tua or Trevor in a couple of years. But anyway, Patriots. It's the Patriots. Past 5 years, 12 wins, 14 wins, 13 wins, 11 wins. And they have, 3 Super Bowls in that time. It's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Gronkowski, but they drafted N'Keal Harry, who I think is going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be serviceable. They still have Julian Edelman, who's always great.
Yeah.
That defense, there's not a lot of, per se, I guess, real blue-collar talent on it. But it's just Belichick. I mean, he figures out ways.
Yeah.
And that defense is top 10, top 12, year in and year out. And they do enough to win games. And it's just Tom Brady. I mean, we all expect him to keep playing at the level he's playing at, as long as he doesn't, hurt himself or something. But it's the Patriots. And they'll beat up. They basically get 4 or 5 automatic wins, maybe 6 automatic wins. 5 or 6 automatic wins within their division.
Right.
So right then and there, without even playing another team, you're already
3 games out of the
You're
playoffs.
already like halfway to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. There's really nothing else to say about that division. It's just the Patriots and everybody else. I can definitely see the Jets doing well, but to me, it's all going to run their defense. I know Sam Darnold is going to improve a little bit. I think they'll put up some points this year, but I feel like most of it is going to ride on how good that defense is. I think it could be anywhere from 5 to 9 games, anywhere in that range. I can see.
Mm-hmm. I just think they still have holes. I think they're weak. I think they're still weak in the secondary. They have Jamal Adams.
Yeah, Jamal Adams is one of this.
But nothing else.
Nothing else. Yeah.
I think they're still not great at receiver. They picked up Jamison Crowder, who'll be a good option for Sam Darnold, but they're still not great at receiver. They still don't have that number 1 guy who can take the top off the defense.
Right.
I think they're really strong though at running back. I think Darnold's a B+ quarterback, or can be. I think they found their franchise quarterback. I think they made improvements on their offensive line. It's still not great, but it's definitely improved.
Mm-hmm.
And their front seven's fantastic. They really improved their front seven defensively. Leonard Williams drafted Keenan Williams. I expect him to be a beast. C.J. Mosley. They added Avery Williamson, an underrated guy from Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't have much in the secondary, but they do have Jamal Adams.
Yeah, that's really where they spent the bulk of their cap space this year, in the trenches, the D line and the O line.
I don't think their schedule's that bad. I think, if I can remember correctly, I
got it right here.
I have it right here, but I just don't have my actual game by game. I think I had them beating Buffalo.
Okay.
I think I have them beating Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
They'll obviously lose at New England. They'll lose at Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who I picked in the Dallas game. Maybe I'll remember when we talk about the Cowboys. I think it could be really close in that New England game, October 21st.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have them losing. I think they'll beat. I think I had them losing to Jacksonville. I had them beating Miami. I had them beating the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I had them beating Washington. A little win streak here. Beating Oakland at home. Beating Cincinnati. Beating Miami. Losing to Baltimore. Losing to Pittsburgh. And then beating Buffalo.
After they play the Patriots in Week 7, they have a really, really easy schedule.
Yeah.
Depending on how the
favorable.
Jaguars look, I'm not
It's
really sure.
favorable. Yeah.
But they have a lot of games that are really winnable.
And then the Bills, I think we should mention the Bills. We don't have to talk about the Dolphins. But what do you think? Do you have any expectations for Josh Allen? I mean, we don't have to talk about the team, but just Josh Allen in general.
To be honest,
thoughts?
I don't watch the Bills much.
I don't either.
So
I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts on.
If I'm gonna say anything at all off the dome, I'd just say that Josh Allen, he's gonna have to prove himself more as a passer this year. If you think about it, Josh Rosen, the Cardinals gave up on him after year one, and you look at his numbers compared to Josh Allen's, and they're almost identical, other than the rushing statistics. The passing, it's around the same, around 55% completion percentage in that range, around 15 picks. So he's going to have to improve reading defenses, and I mean that goes without being said, honestly.
Yeah, in 5 games last year, they failed to reach 10 points.
Oof.
That's they could have up to 8 new starters on their offense. I think it's a nice fresh look. It's sorely needed. They picked up Cole Beasley and John Brown in the offseason. Those are 2 good pickups.
Yeah,
they're not going to get on the headlines or anything, but they're 2 solid pickups, 2 solid options for Josh Allen. You still have Zay Jones, talented receiver. We'll still see how he pans out. LaShawn McCoy in the backfield, it's just hard to tell.
He's
he has
old.
Weeks,
he's old.
He has weeks where he's
himself.
Yeah.
And then he has weeks where he's just old.
Not good at all. And their defense, I mean, it's always been top half.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, always been okay. Yeah.
Last year they were 2nd in total defense, 7th in rushing defense, and 1st in passing defense. 10th in scoring defense.
Yeah, it's weird because that's the only way they stay in games with the defense. So, yeah, I guess I can see that.
But I still don't think they're gonna. I think 4-12, maybe 5-11. I think is their season.
Honestly feel bad for that defense. They had to carry Nathan Peterman for
the GOAT.
That was one of the problems for sure. Nathan Peterman. Okay. So more interceptions and he scores touchdowns.
Defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. All right. Next division.
AFC South?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. I have the Colts at 11-5, Texans at 10-6, Jaguars at 7-9, and Titans at 3-13.
Okay. I have Colts 12-4.
Okay.
I'm getting a first round bye actually.
I can see that.
Texans 10-6, Jacksonville with Nick Foles 6-10, and Tennessee 4-12.
Okay, pretty similar. Let's start with the Colts. I have them losing week 1. Do you have them winning that game against the Chargers? Or
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a coin flip. I read a report when I was making that prediction that Andrew Luck may not play. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like,
that might change my prediction, but I'm assuming he's going to play.
It's ambitious.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
They have the Titans number. They crush the Titans every time they play them. So whether Andrew Luck plays or not, they're going to beat the Titans. I'm pretty confident with that. He should be back by week 3, at least. He should be back by week 3. So I have them beating the Falcons, then the Raiders, and then I have them losing to the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Yeah, and they'll have a bye week.
I think I had them losing that one too.
Yeah, and then they have a bye week, and then they have a key division game at home against the Texans. I have them winning that, and then they beat the Broncos, and then I have them losing to the Steelers. Mm-hmm. And then the Dolphins, easy win. Jaguars, I have them winning that as well. I have them losing to the Texans in Houston, and then I have them winning against the Titans, winning against the Bucks, losing to the Saints, beating the Panthers, beating the Jags, and then that's it.
I'm not gonna go game by game. I don't want to waste time, but their projected depth chart offensively. T.Y. Hilton. Obviously Luck, but T.Y. Hilton. They picked up a nice, solid number 2 option from Carolina, Devin Funchess. That's an underrated pickup.
Yeah, for sure.
Their offensive line is one of the best in the league now. Quentin Nelson, Anthony Costanzo, 3 other guys. I'm not going to say their names because I might mess them up. A good tight end, Jack Doyle. They still have Eric Ebron, so a good 1-2 punch at tight end, and Marlon Mack in the backfield. He's a good, serviceable running back.
Yeah.
And then one of the best middle linebackers in the league, Darius Leonard. Their secondary, they have a lot of young talent in their secondary. I'm not sure how it gels, but we'll see. But I think their front seven's good enough. Jabal Sheard, Justin Houston. They added Justin Houston. He can still play.
Yeah.
Veteran-type presence on their defense. And I think they'll score enough points to where they'll be able to win some games even if their defense struggles a little bit. Last year, not only is their offense good, but it's actually the fastest pace in the league. They ran one play every 26.3 seconds. That's the fastest pace offense in the NFL. So Frank Reich likes to go.
Yeah.
So
I think that definitely helped.
Assuming Luck plays, stays healthy and is healthy. I think they have one of the best rosters in the AFC, and I think I have them getting the number 2 seed in the AFC next year.
All right, yeah. It all rides on Luck. I think their defense is really good. I like the corner they have, Desir.
Yeah,
he locks up. He's really good. He's underrated, and I just like that they have a lot of valuable pieces that they don't necessarily have to pay a lot.
Yeah,
because nobody knows about them.
Mm-hmm.
So
for sure,
that's definitely the way to do it. Especially at running back, you don't need to pay big bucks to a guy like Marlon Mack.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Mark's team, Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm. That's me.
So if you want to say anything about the Texans,
I'm not giving a record prediction. All I'm saying is it's based off their offensive line. Their offensive line blocks.
Yeah,
they could win.
I agree.
There's a chance they could win, 12 games. If their offensive line doesn't block, it's going to look similar to last year, or be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. That's all it's riding on. And if their secondary can actually do something, but otherwise it's mainly the offensive line.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
You have any opinions? Or really do your?
I have them missing the playoffs by 1 game because the Browns
I
got in. Yeah,
it's close. It's close.
The AFC is a lot tougher this year. That's one of the crazy things. There's going to be a lot of teams fighting for
wild card.
Yeah, and especially since the AFC West has 2 elite teams in it, there's going to be one that's in the wild card.
Yeah,
every year. So that's interesting to think about. But it's all on the offensive line. The fact that Deshaun Watson stayed healthy last year is absurd. To be honest.
Got sacked 62 times. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
And just pressure rate as well, highest in the NFL. I think it was 60-something%. I can't remember what the exact number was, but I've said it before on a previous podcast. So
hopefully, I don't know what they did in their draft, but hopefully they added Matt Khalil, a tackle. He's supposed to be pretty good at left tackle, so hopefully that helps a little bit. I think they just traded for Duke Johnson. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped Deontay Foreman, and they picked up Duke Johnson. That'll be a good pickup. They still have Lamar Miller. We'll see with him.
Mm-hmm.
Hopkins, one of the best in the league, obviously. Fuller is good, but he needs to stay healthy. And Kiki Kuti, he's young.
He's a good slot receiver.
Yep.
He got hurt,
So,
but hopefully he can be
It
better.
just all rides on the offensive line. Their defense is fine, even though it did take some hits in the off season. They did lose Tyrann Mathieu. He went to Kansas City. They lost Kareem Jackson, who had been there for a while. And they also lost Kevin Johnson, another quarterback who went to Buffalo. So they did lose some talent there, but
I think they needed to get younger anyway on
Yeah.
defense.
they did pick up Sean Gibson, good safety. Bradley Roby from Denver, another good corner.
Yeah.
Justin Reed, known as kind of somewhat of a dirty player, but I think he can help them and back in as a free safety. And they still have Jonathan Joseph, who's been there for years. And then up front, Jadeveon Clowney. There's a lot of stuff to talk about there.
Hope he plays.
J.J. Watt, obviously. Their linebackers aren't the best, but that front four is scary, and the secondary is very good.
Yeah.
So it all rides on the offensive line, and just
Honestly, everything else about this team is complete other than the line.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to me that I was honestly expecting them to trade up in the first round and get a tackle, but
They should.
I think if they went 10-6, they'd be extremely happy. Look at their schedule: at New Orleans, Jacksonville at home, at the Chargers, Carolina, who
is
won't be great, but
you
they're
won't-
still a
they're-
tough game.
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
Every time. Atlanta at home, that's no easy. At Kansas City in Arrowhead. At division rival Indianapolis, who I have going 12-4 and being one of the best teams in the league. Oakland, okay, that's kind of a drop off there. But Jacksonville again in London, a place where Jacksonville seems to play very well.
Yeah.
They're starting a lot.
At Baltimore, Indianapolis again on a short week after you get beat up by that Ravens defense. New England at home. Denver, no easy game. And then at Tennessee, at Tampa Bay, and Tennessee again. It's for the first 12 or 13 weeks, it's brutal. If they got
Yeah.
the 10 wins, I think they'd be extremely satisfied.
Yeah, for sure. But will it be enough? I think
That's the thing. Will it be
Yeah.
enough?
like I was originally thinking that maybe the Browns would struggle out of the gate, but based on the games they have out of the gate, I think they'll catch their footing since they only have to play the Jets and the
Yeah. They get the Jets and the Titans.
first
The
few
Texans get New Orleans and Chargers, and
all the
Falcons, and
Yeah,
Chiefs.
all solid teams that are playoff contenders. So
I think they'll win some of those games. Like I think I had them losing to New Orleans in the opener. I had them beating Jacksonville. I can't remember the Chargers. I had them beating Carolina. I had them beating Atlanta. I think I had them losing
And
to
lost
Kansas.
to
I won't
Atlanta.
ramble.
Yeah.
Losing to Kansas City, maybe beating. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter.
yeah, but the point is, it's the offensive line.
Mhm.
If they can just be average,
Any thoughts
That'll be-
on Jacksonville with Nick Foles? Do you have any opinions?
it's so hard to predict this team.
Yeah.
I remember we were talking about this on this episode last year
Uh-huh.
with the Chiefs. We were like, I don't know how good Mahomes is. I don't know what's going to happen with the defense and yada yada yada. So that's why it was so hard to predict. And with this team, it's like they have a great defense, but then they lost Calais Campbell,
Yeah.
and that was a key part of their front.
Mhm.
Um,
Lost Malik Jackson too. They lost Dante Moncrief. They lost backup running back TJ Yeldon. They lost Bortles.
no.
And
That's a
Losing
game.
much.
That's actually a game.
I ain't losing much.
I think it counts as a game.
Tashawn Gibson. As far as pickups go in free agency, they got Nick Foles. They picked up Thomas Rawls. Thomas Rawls, the running back from Seattle.
Mhm.
They got Alfred Blue. I don't know.
From the Texans.
Yeah.
From the Texans and Chris Conley. Those are their notable pickups.
The thing is, though, they're in win now mode because once Jalen Ramsey
Yeah.
comes
Comes
to the
table.
contract,
Yeah. He's asking.
he's gonna want the bag.
Yeah.
And once you give him the bag, it's over. Because you're not gonna be able to fill out the rest of the roster if you're giving a corner 40% of your cap. So
let's move on. Let's stop rambling. We'll go to the AFC West.
Yeah.
And we'll move to the NFC.
let's get this show on the road. You can
I
start.
had top heavy AFC West.
Yeah, same.
Kansas City 13-3, Chargers 12-4. Just like last year, I think they'll be really good, but I still think they're going to end up playing a wild card game. Broncos 6-10, and Raiders. Sorry, I don't think it's going to work again. 3-13.
Yeah. I have the Chargers and the Chiefs 12-4. So
Comes down to a tiebreaker.
yeah, comes down to the tiebreaker. Yeah. And then I have the Chiefs winning the tiebreaker
Okay.
as like a kind of playoff-ish game. But it's a coin flip, man.
Is that week 17?
I don't know. I don't know how much of a difference they play in. Yeah, they do play in week 17.
Ooh,
Yeah.
won't be resting any starters in that game.
No.
That's going to be like a playoff game almost.
Yeah, it pretty much will. It'll decide
Who gets?
who gets what. Yeah.
Yep.
The thing is, though, I don't know how much of a difference not having Melvin Gordon will make. They have Eckler,
Eckler, yeah.
but he seems like a kind of guy that's more comfortable coming out of the backfield and catching passes. So we'll see how it goes. They still have a really good defense.
I mean, all around, the Chargers have one of the best all-around rosters in the league.
But we've been saying that the last
Yeah.
2 years, and they haven't gotten the job done. So I'm just going to have to see it to believe it.
Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Travis Benjamin. We don't know about Gordon, but I think Eckler is a solid option.
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry, who needs to stay healthy. Solid offensive line with Okung and Pouncey and the guys up there. Bosa, Mebane, Melvin Ingram. Apparently they picked up Thomas Davis. Don't know where that came from. But
I thought you were tired. Yeah.
Casey Hayward, Derwin James. It's just when they get to the playoffs, what does Philip
Can
Rivers
they
do?
do anything?
Yeah.
And the question is, I don't really know at this point. Like I've given them the benefit of the doubt before, and I've been
kind of hesitant to pick them.
Now it's like I gotta see it to believe it. That's it. I mean,
they won that game against Baltimore, but they went to New England and they got
smacked.
smacked around. Yeah, it was interesting.
Didn't even put up a fight. It was pathetic, honestly. But
the Chiefs, same old Chiefs. It's just an explosion of offense, and hopefully the defense is a little better than it was last year with additions of Frank Clark from Seattle. They still have Chris Jones, and they picked up the Honey Badger in the secondary, Tyrann Mathieu, and a decent corner, Bashaud Breeland. I don't know where he played last. I think it was Carolina or
I think he was in Washington.
Washington, yes. Decent corner. He's serviceable. They lost Steven Nelson.
I think they traded him in the Alex Smith trade.
They did lose a lot of that defense, but I don't think it's going to matter that much because that defense wasn't very good anyway.
Yeah.
They lost, I think Eric Berry's still a free agent. I don't think he's been signed anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
D Ford, they traded him to San Francisco. Justin Houston went to Indianapolis. Steven Nelson, their best corner, went to Pittsburgh. And Orlando Scandrick, I think, was picked up by some team earlier this week. So, but they did add Frank Clark. They still have Pro Bowler Chris Jones up front. And they added 2 good secondary pieces. And their linebackers are okay. They're serviceable.
Right.
So, does Mahomes throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns again? Not sure about that. But he's still going to be great. Still be an MVP candidate. They still have Travis Kelce, Damian Williams, and Carlos Hyde, 2 solid running back options to replace Kareem Hunt. Sammy Watkins, he needs to step up. If he does, it could be really scary. And then it's just Patrick Mahomes. Let him do his thing. And Andy Reid, I mean, he does it every year.
Yeah. Andy Reid, honestly, I thought he had one of the best coaching years I've seen in terms of just play calling.
Yeah.
And just situational football. Because if you think about it, in so many games they were down big, and then he just rallied the troops and got them right back on track. In the New England game, they were down, was it 21-0?
Yeah.
And then they were down in the Rams game. They were down in the Jaguars game,
Yeah.
I think, too. Yeah, they were down in a bunch of games. And
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about these teams, but for not the right reasons.
Yeah.
First, I want to get your thoughts on the Broncos because I think they could be interesting. It's just who to play at quarterback. Is Flacco an option? Do they play Drew Lock? I believe they lost Case Keenum. He went to where did he go? I forget. He went to Washington.
Washington.
But they have Flacco. I want to get your pins on him. Do we see Drew Lock eventually? Because we know the defense is good. I mean, Bradley Chubb coming into his second season. Chris Harris Jr., the guys in the secondary. They picked up Kareem Jackson from Houston. They still have Von Miller and all those guys. But it's just the offense. Philip Lindsay was a breakout last year. I just want to get your opinions on them. And then also the Raiders, because they have some weird stuff going on.
Yeah. The Broncos, I have them going 6-10.
Same.
I think we will see Drew Lock by the end of the year. I think they'll end up with no choice but to put him in, honestly.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't-
I'm a big Flacco fan.
I don't hate Flacco. I just don't think.
Yeah.
I just don't think.
You've had this conversation.
Yeah, when you bring in a veteran quarterback and then you draft a quarterback on top of that, that just shows you don't believe in that quarterback anyway. So why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
I know what you mean.
So they clearly don't believe in Flacco anyway. So they're not gonna stick with him the whole year. The secondary is mostly gone. That Super Bowl team is mostly gone. That secondary, at least.
That's true.
That team I was there. It's not the same defense. Their defense is still solid, but it's not
Yeah, it's not
elite.
not
like-
elite, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's still good, but it's not.
My questions lie at the quarterback position, and
The
I
offensive
still, well, that too, but I still have questions about Cortland Sutton
Mm-hmm.
and Emmanuel Sanders health-wise. I don't know how viable they can be there, but we'll see. They could be. I mean, they'll be in games. I think their defense is good enough to keep them in games.
It's just can they execute
Yeah.
and be able to really compete? You know, there's a difference between being close and actually winning.
I thought I was done talking about Antonio Brown, but any thoughts on his crazy situation?
I think he needs to get checked out by a doctor. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, did that perfect tick really mess him up that much? Like, I mean, this dude has been. I mean, it's interesting to me that Ryan Clark saw this all coming. That
Yeah.
he even said that if you give him a contract, he's not gonna be the same. Humble, do whatever. But wow, this is just everything that's happening now is just over the top. Just everything he does, he brings drama to it. Like who gets injured and then is still on every front page news source of NFL? Like that's not normal.
I haven't gotten a chance to watch Hard Knocks yet. I'm planning on it soon.
I watched the first episode.
But it's just I don't even know what happened to him. He first of all, why are you in France like the week before training camp starts? And why are you stepping into a cryotherapy machine at negative 200 degrees Celsius without the proper footwear on? Second of all, why do you care what helmet you wear? Why does it matter? I played football. All the helmets are. I mean, I see no difference. I mean, what? Why? It's just he finds ways to
Make drama out of
make
nothing.
drama out of nothing. It's just. I mean, I know he thinks that his production speaks for itself, and it does. His 6-year run of production is unbelievable, and it's only Jerry Rice can really rival it, I guess.
Mhm.
But Derek Carr, Ben Roethlisberger, I'm just saying, Oakland ain't Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
You don't have
Oh.
Juju Smith-Schuster and Le'Veon Bell to
like take some of the pressure off you. I get it.
in Oakland.
Yeah, but I said this as soon as the trade went down. I remember saying it on the pod. He's going to be out of the league in 4 years. I guarantee it. I
I wouldn't
guarantee
be
it.
surprised. He already threatened to retire
Yeah,
over the helmet issue. Whatever. Let's move on. NFC.
He wants us to talk about him. Don't let
That's
him
what he
win.
wants, I think.
Yeah,
I think
he
he
just
actually
wants the attention.
people-
He wants publicity.
that's what he wants. And I can't believe Brian Clark was right. I have no idea how. Okay. So we are at 45 minutes. So if we want to
Halfway through.
halfway through. We'll try to go a little quicker on NFC. We kind of rambled a little bit AFC.
Yeah.
Where you want to start?
NFC North.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I got the Bears at
The Bears.
13-3. Yeah, I know. I saw that and I was like, whoa, because I went game by game, so it's hard to gauge.
Yeah.
But I have the Packers at 12-4, which also seems a little too
Keep going.
high. But I have the Vikings at 9-7, and then the Lions at 3-13. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Matthew Stafford.
We won't talk about the Lions. I have 4-12, so basically no difference there.
Yeah.
3 or 4 games. Give them 3 or 4 wins. I'm not as high as the Pack. I can't talk. Not as high on the Packers are. Whatever. I'm not as high on the Packers.
I get it. Yeah,
You
I
get
what
the
you're saying.
point.
Yeah, I get it.
9-7 for the Packers. I have the Vikings 11-5.
Ooh.
I have them missing the playoffs though.
Okay.
We'll get to that later, but I have Seattle as a 6th seed. And then I have the Bears at 12-4. So you want to give your thoughts on the Bears and the Packers? Why you have
The thing is, the Bears, they the only thing that kept the Bears from legit maybe making a Super Bowl is a kicker.
Yeah, that's true.
Mitchell Trubisky.
I think if the Bears get through that Eagles game and then play the Saints, I think they give the Saints some fits. I think that defense is so good to where I don't know if Drew Brees would be able to handle all the crazy. So, I mean, I'm not saying Drew Brees ain't.
Yeah, we know.
I'm just saying that defense is legit. That's all I'm saying. I have them losing week 1 to the Packers. And then Broncos, Redskins are the 2 wins. They play the Vikings. That's a coin flip to me. At home, so I gave them the edge. The Raiders, that's a win. And they go on a bye week, and they get the Saints at home. So I think off a bye week, I think it's a little more promising coming off a bye week for that. And then the Chargers game, I had trouble picking that one. I didn't pick it and then went back to it. I ended up picking them only because I just don't think – I don't know if the Chargers are going to be quite as dynamic offensively without Melvin Gordon there. I think they'll still win games, but when you're playing elite teams, like an elite defense like the Bears, especially at Soldier Field, it's going to be a lot more difficult when you don't have a legitimate running game. I had them losing to the Eagles week 9. I had them beating the Lions, losing to the Rams, and then Giants. I had them beating them. Lions. I had them beating them. Cowboys, and then Packers game in Lambeau. I don't know. I mean, you can go either way.
Yeah.
I just think it's a good sign that they got all of their tough games at home this year because they're really tough to beat at home. That's why I have them winning some of their tough games. I think if I went back and revised a little more, I think I would have them losing to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I would change that. But other than that, I think they will be a legitimate contender.
Yeah, the Bears, they lost a safety in a corner, but they added Ha Clinton Dix. So you can make the argument, while they lost some pieces in the secondary actually got better.
Mm-hmm.
Which is scary because they have Clinton Dix, Eddie Jackson, Prince Amukamara, and Kyle Fuller in their secondary.
Right.
And not to mention, they have Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack and Danny Trevathan up front in the front seven.
Oof.
Scary.
Yeah.
I mean, Khalil Mack's almost a one-man defense in himself.
Right.
Offense,
He wasn't
I've never been a fan of the receivers. Although there's still certain. I mean, Allen Robinson. They drafted Riley Ridley, Taylor Gabriel. You know, they're good. Trubisky. Hopefully Trey Burton stays healthy. He had 54 receptions and 6 touchdowns, but I think he got hurt last year and missed some games. And then supposedly, we all know what Tariq Cohen brings to the table, but supposedly the running back they drafted out of Iowa State, David Montgomery, is going to be
a stud.
He's going to be a stud. Yeah.
Okay.
So I like it. I mean, running game and defense, and Trubisky's he's not the best, but he can throw the ball. I mean,
Right.
He's
He
athletic. He has an arm. I mean,
Right. Like, even in the Eagles game, I feel like that was the most promising thing to me. That final drive where he led them down the field with 40 seconds left on the clock. It takes a special kind of player to make the throws that he made in the clutch and lead the team down the field and put them in position for a game-winning field goal. Obviously, it didn't work out how they wanted, but it's you still have to give him credit for putting him in position.
But I think, a lot of the offensive success in Chicago goes to Matt Nagy.
For sure. I don't think they're anywhere close to this good without him as their coach. He honestly could be the next Andy Reid in the league. He'll be around for a long time.
He could very well be. Did you talk about the Packers already?
No, I haven't.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me pull up the game by game. Okay, the Packers. I had them at 12-4. But the thing is, I have them going on a big win streak to start the season. I have them going 7-0
Wow.
out of the gate. If they beat the Bears week 1,
Okay.
which I have them doing, but I don't know. It could go either way. They get some of their tougher games at home this year. Other than the Chiefs and the Chargers games, which I have them losing. I have them beating the Vikings week 2, and then they get the Broncos, and then they get the Eagles at home. So at Lambeau, historically, I know not last year, but this year with their improved defense, supposedly, I think Aaron Rodgers will be back to himself at Lambeau because the fan base is still there. They still go crazy at Lambeau, and the offense is just a step up when they play at Lambeau. And then obviously, when they play the Cowboys, they just manage to break my heart every time. So that's that. The Lions and Raiders, those are easy games. And then Chiefs, Chargers, I have them losing them both.
I think the Packers, I'll be short. It comes down to the relationship between new coach and Aaron Rodgers, obviously, Matt LaFleur. It's kind of, since he's had all these injuries and been out, missed a lot of time, it's easy to forget just how good Aaron Rodgers is. During the Packers' 8-game winning streak back in 2016, where they lost, they got to the NFC Championship game. Rodgers, in those 8 games, threw for 2,400 yards, 21 touchdowns, 1 pick with a 118 passer rating. And then to start the following season, 2017, before he fractured his right collarbone, in a game against, I think it was Minnesota, he threw 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a 104 passer rating. It will just come down to the relationship between Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, he's known as a guy who's sort of hard to coach,
Yeah, kind of closed off.
kind of
in a
closed
way.
off in
Yeah.
a way. So it'll just come down to that.
Yeah.
I think their defense is, I mean, they have a lot of young talent in their defense. Jair Alexander, Trayvon Williams. They got rid of Clay Matthews. He's gone now, but Blake Martinez, I think he made the Pro Bowl 1 or
Right.
2 years.
Right.
Zadarius Smith from Baltimore, good option up front. They did cut Mike Daniels, which is very surprising to me, but I think their defense is still plenty good to be competitive. I just don't think. I think they're going to have some bumps.
Yeah. I
along
think
the way.
I think it either clicks or it doesn't. I
Mhm.
think it'll be there's I don't think there's any real in between for me. I think it'll be
Okay.
just clicking like
Yeah.
11 wins or like
12 wins,
like
you have.
7. So it could go either way.
I don't. I mean, I had them 9-7, but that's just the way my predictions worked out. I think they'll win between. I think they could definitely win 10 games, but I could also see them dropping off and maybe winning 6 or 7,
right.
somewhere in between there.
Yeah, some of the games that I look at, them struggling is like a game like the Broncos with like a great front seven, where they'll just be able to rush Aaron Rodgers with a 4-man rush. With how the offensive line for the Packers have been the last couple of years, they've been okay, but they're clearly aging. They're not as good as they used to be. So a game like that, I could look at as them struggling.
All right, let's talk about the Vikings real quick. We are approaching
Yeah.
an hour, so we need to
Okay.
speed it up.
Yeah.
a little.
Wow, not bad.
But I just had the Vikings going 11-5. I saw you have them going 9-7. I just want to see where we went different
Mhm.
here. I believe I had the Vikings going 11-5. I really like their roster, but I had them losing a tiebreaker to Seattle. I had them losing like a Week 12 game in Seattle
Mhm.
on a Monday night. I just think, I mean, if it comes down to that one particular game, if I am right, and it does come down to that, and both teams end up 11-5, I mean, who are you picking in prime time? Russell Wilson at home with the 12th man behind him, or Kirk Cousins, who's like 1-12 all time in Monday Night Football?
No brainer. That's
I think
yeah.
Dalvin Cook's going to have his best year. I still think Kirk Cousins, he's a viable quarterback. He can get you 10 wins. It's just can he win the big ones? We've talked about this before. One of the best 1-2 punch at receivers, Cook and Thielen. Their defense is great. Daniil Hunter, whoever they have in their secondary. What's his name? The corner.
Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah,
Xavier
Rhodes,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Mike Zimmer's always been a good coach. Their defense has always been good. It's just can Kirk Cousins wins a big game, and I think he'll win a couple more big games this year.
Yeah.
It's just not enough.
Yeah.
In this deep NFC. I think I was talking to Mark earlier. I think there are 8 teams you could legitimately make an argument to make the playoffs. 8 or 9 teams that can make the playoffs in the NFC.
Yeah.
The Eagles, the Cowboys, the Bears, the Vikings, maybe even the Packers, like we mentioned, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Falcons, and the Saints. I think all those teams you could make an argument could make the playoffs. And you never know in the NFL.
Yeah, you never know what the Panthers will do. They're not, I mean, Last couple of years they've been
Yeah,
but I mean
you never
they
know.
started like 6-2, so
They did. You never know. Let's
Yeah.
speed it up. We still have 3 divisions to go. I'd like to
Right.
finish in the next 15, 20 minutes.
okay.
That'd be a good time. So maybe we spend like 5 to 7 minutes on each division.
Okay, yeah,
Can.
yeah, for sure.
So which division you want to go next?
We'll end with the South. That'll be the most interesting division, I think. Let's go East.
Okay.
Okay. I have the Eagles at 12-4.
Okay.
My Cowboys at 9-7, and then Redskins 5-11, Giants 3-13.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have Eagles 13-3. I think they'll win the division. I have your Cowboys as a wild card,
Okay.
11-5.
Okay, that's fair.
Redskins, I think they'll win some games, 5-11.
Okay,
Give them
same as
that.
me. Yeah.
And then the Giants 3-13.
Okay. Yeah, so same except Cowboys. The thing is, I don't know what's gonna happen with Zeke, and I think maybe the contract drama might get to them this year.
That's fair.
They're gonna have a lot of really tough games, where they're gonna have to be really on point. Like the Vikings in Week 10, that could be a really tough game. The Jets might give them some problems even. The Saints, obviously, they're a Super Bowl contender. The Patriots,
Yeah.
Bears,
Tough games, but that's just
a
the
lot
NFL.
of that's just the NFL. Like
Yeah.
they got to win some of those. But I just look at this year as Dak's year to prove it. He's got to prove it. You want your 40 mil? Go get it. You got to make the playoffs in the tough NFC.
40
Go do it. Go do it.
Real quick, don't spend long, but what do you think he should make? What should be like the starting? Because right now, Russell Wilson's the highest paid at $35 million. And then it's Roethlisberger, I think, at 34.
Mhm.
Matt Ryan's like 5th at like 30 something.
Yeah, I think Dak Prescott is tweaking personally. 40 mil, like have you seen yourself play? Like you're like you ain't nothing crazy. Like I love you, Dak, for real. Like you're good and stuff, but I mean 40 mil.
32 wins and how many?
I mean, he gets wins. I'll give him that. He's a winner. He's a winner. You want that as your quarterback, but I just want to see him improve with his accuracy and also just poise, making like split-second decision. It seems he takes too long to process things at times, where he would just hold the ball too long, take a sack in a key situation. That can't happen. So
I can't believe. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I think the Cowboys are going to do just fine.
yeah, maybe it's just me being pessimistic, but we have we didn't have that high expectations last year, but this year the expectations are real. We have a team that, with the defense we have, has an opportunity to go far in the playoffs, but at the same time, we can't get ahead of ourselves. I just don't have a good feeling. I don't know. I think it's just me being pessimistic.
Let me give you my thoughts.
Okay. Yeah.
First of all, as far as young talent goes, I think they might be the best. The top 3 at least.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at it. Amari Cooper is 25. Ezekiel Elliott's only 23. Dak Prescott's 25. Jalen Smith's 24. Leighton Vander Esch is 23. Byron Jones is 26. DeMarcus Lawrence is considered old, and he's only 27. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They do have to pay some people,
Mm-hmm.
but I think if they really wanted to, they could bet on themselves and wait to pay that until next year.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do.
Because that's when you're going to get that's when you're gonna have the bidding war. Like right now, there's not a bidding war, so you don't have a whole lot of leverage. It's just him coming to the bank asking for money.
Mhm.
But next year, when he goes up for I think his contract,
Mhm.
I don't know
Contract comes in.
contract. Yeah, I think he could. I think that's when the Cowboys will really step up and pay him. It's not going to be 40 million. I could see it being like 32, 33. He might, if he's lucky, reach Russell Wilson at 35, but that's another story for another day. As far as he goes, I know he might miss some games, but we've seen multiple running backs
Mhm.
play well.
Right. I think he'll come back, and I think we'll
With
be
their
fine without
offensive
him. But
line.
I just
And they kind of start off,
like I had them.
Buckets.
I had them starting 3-0,
yeah.
but
So even if Zach,
Dak. It's okay. It's okay. My dad does that all the time too. In your defense.
I meant Zeke, but
Oh.
I said Zach.
Oh, I thought you meant Dak. Okay.
Even if Zeke misses like 3 or 4 games and decides to hold out, I think they'll still start 3-1. I had them beating the Giants, beating the Redskins, beating the Dolphins. New Orleans is just a tough place to play. I think they'll lose that, but I have them beating Green Bay at home.
Okay.
I have them overcoming their sort of curse there.
Okay.
I think I had them being, I had them being upset by the Jets. I had them beating the Eagles at home, beating the Giants. I can't remember.
Like I have them at 3. I have them 6-2. I have them starting 6-2, but the thing is, that's when the schedule really picks up. I have them losing to the Vikings, and then they beat the Lions, but that's pretty much it.
But my point is, I just don't think Zeke is going to matter. I said mather. I can't talk.
Yeah.
Matter as much as people think it is.
Yeah, we do have Mike Weber and what's his name?
Don't you
Alfred
have
Morris.
Alfred
No,
Morris?
no, it's
No,
a
you don't.
different guy. We picked up a different guy. I forgot his name. It's okay. He played really good in the last preseason game, but
I think whoever steps behind that offensive line, they can succeed. I think Michael Gallup's might have a breakout year.
yeah,
I mean, you lost Cole Beasley, but you're kind of getting the same thing in Randall Cobb as long as he
Right.
stays healthy.
right.
Amari Cooper really helped y'all last year for sure.
Mhm.
Dak's going to be fine behind that offensive line. He wins games, and the defense is one of the best in the league. Byron Jones, the guy you drafted, Chidobe Awuzie.
Awuzie, yeah.
Y'all picked up George Iloka apparently.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee. One of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at Dak, he does have an argument. I mean,
yeah, he does for sure.
32-16 in the regular season, 2 division titles, career pass rating at 96, and 2 Pro Bowl trips.
Yeah, he's got the resume, but stretch from
Yeah,
week 12 to 17. That's when we're gonna know who Dak is.
Yeah.
We saw it with Romo. He had so many years where we'd start good, then December hit, and it would just
all
L.
right, we're doing it again.
So
We're kind of rambling. Quick take on the Eagles,
okay,
and
yeah,
then we'll move on.
the Eagles. They have one of the best rosters in the league.
Yep.
Carson Wentz, obviously. They have a stretch of a lot of games. I was going to say at home, but not really.
I mean, it's. Let's see.
Part of me thinks that I'm overrating that this
Alshon
team,
Jeffrey
but
and Nelson Aguilar remain as the receivers. They picked up Deshaun Jackson. A good pickup. They still have one of the best offensive and defensive lines in the league. On the offensive line, you still have Jason Peters, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, all those guys. Zach Ertz, one of the top 5 tight ends in the league. Carson Wentz. They picked up Jordan Howard. to go along with this Miles Sanders guy that they drafted who might be okay. They drafted the receiver from Stanford,
Mhm.
Arcega Whiteside, who's supposed to be good if he gets playing time.
Right.
The front seven, added Malik Jackson from Jacksonville, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Nigel Bradham, who's been there for years. In the back end, Malcolm Jenkins is the leader of their secondary, Ronald Darby, Jalen Mills. They had a lot of injuries in their secondary last year. They brought in another good safety from the Vikings, Andrew Sendejo, who made some plays last year. Just all around one of the best rosters in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost Jay Ajayi, Michael Bennett, Nick Foles, Jordan Hicks, Jordan Matthews, and Golden Tate, and they still have one of the best rosters in the NFL.
Yeah.
And what's the coach's name?
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson. He's a good one. So I have them as a second seed in the NFC. I have the Rams first.
I have them 3 seed.
3 seed? Okay. Yeah, I had the Rams, and then I had the Eagles, and then I had the Bears.
In the NFC, I have all 6 teams at 12-4 or better. And in the AFC, I have all 6 teams at 11-5 or better. So it's like,
Well,
I think that's where I think that's where I got it wrong.
we have two
Like
more
I have a
divisions.
lot of
We have 2 more divisions. So we have
Yeah.
NFC West and NFC South.
Right.
Real quick on the NFC West. Go ahead.
Okay. Cardinals 3-13, 49ers 3-13, Seahawks 12-4, and then Rams 13-3.
Same. I had Rams 13-3, Seahawks 11-5, sneaking in as the last seed in the NFC. It's iffy with Garoppolo, but I have him winning 8 games.
Yeah, I can see that. I
8-8. Cardinals 2-14. I want to believe in Kyler Murray, but I just can't.
not in year
Not-
one.
not
They
in year
don't have
one.
the team for it.
Yeah, that's what I have. The Rams,
That
they made the
they're
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They have tons of talent. They have Cooper Kupp coming back. Todd Gurley, hopefully, he
they're
stays
saying he's feeling good, but you never know. It
Not
could
his
all be
training
BS.
camp, he's
Yeah,
not-
I mean,
But they do have Cooper Kupp. That's going to help extraordinarily. They
right.
still have Brandon Cooks and all those guys. They're talented on the defense. We know about Aaron Donald, one of the best football players in the league, not just on the defensive side. The secondary of Peters, and I think they had Eric Weddle from the Chargers.
Yeah,
So it might have even gotten better as far as talent goes.
right.
And Sean McVay's mastermind, except for the Super Bowl.
Right.
The Seahawks, interesting. I think Russell Wilson might finally win an MVP. If this team makes the playoffs and they win a couple playoffs, I mean,
Yeah, I think so too.
he's going to eventually win an MVP. I think he's that good.
I think so too.
We talked about it. He's won, I think it was 77 games in 7 seasons. So on average, he's winning 11 games per season.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And last year, he threw 35 touchdowns and 7 picks. That's a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. It's crazy. He doesn't even have, Tyler Lockett, he's good, not great.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Carson, good, not great.
Me.
Offensive line, below average.
Mhm.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. It's
I think he's going to do it again, 11-5. I
okay.
think they'll split with the Rams. I think they'll split with. I had them splitting with San Francisco, and I have them sweeping the Cardinals. And then I think they have some tough games at home, but it's a 12th man. It's really tough to win there. I have them winning most of them. So get some help from the 12th man. You have an MVP candidate as your quarterback and a great coach. Never
Yep.
know where it can take you.
Yeah. It's so hard. To
And I'm
predict
really
on the
interested.
future.
I need to catch the next preseason game because I want to watch DK Metcalf play.
Yeah. I don't even know what to think of him at this point. There's been so much hype, and then everybody told
Yeah.
everybody to not hype, and
Yeah,
then now it's like,
kind of delay,
yeah,
kind of never wins
like
it.
you don't really know.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see him play. That's got to give him a chance.
Mhm. The
See-
49ers are interesting.
yeah, they
Obviously, Garoppolo's 8-2 as a starter, but he still hasn't not enough, I guess, sample size there to really make any judgments yet. He needs to play a full season before he can really judge it. But I think they have a good enough roster to win 7 or 8 games.
yeah, for sure.
They're going to be a tough. I mean, they're going to be a tough game
Yeah,
for teams. George Kittle, one of the best young tight ends in the league, to go along with Njoku and Ertz and all those guys. He's up there with those guys, I believe.
yeah.
They added D Ford to their front seven. That already has
already stacked.
That's already stacked.
DeForest Buckner,
Yep.
Nick Bosa,
Yep.
what's his face? Whatever.
I can look, but
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine. But I mean, they can win some games, mess around
I'm
a
not-
little bit.
I think my prediction for them was kind of whack. I think I was a little bit too.
I can see it going either way.
Yeah, I definitely think that team is better than 5 wins. Though.
Yeah, the running
think-
backs are solid.
Yeah, they.
Offensive line's
Yeah, even if
solid.
Jimmy Garoppolo isn't as good as we think, I think the roster is good enough to where
Yeah.
they can win.
They're definitely
games.
going to be competing in a lot of games. You never know in the NFL. I
Yeah,
think 8-8.
bounces your
If
way.
they go 8-8 this year, I think
They'll be happy with
still
that.
won't make the playoffs. I think that's a good start for them.
Yeah.
All right, NFC South, our last division, and maybe our last topic for a long time.
Yeah, we might be able to do some podcasts on the phone, but
Maybe
that'll be
in college.
iffy because college is a lot.
So this could be maybe until Thanksgiving or Christmas break. Would be our next podcast.
Saints 12-4,
Okay.
4 seed.
Hmm.
Falcons 10-6, outside looking in. Panthers 8-8. Bucks 7-9.
Interesting. I'm high on the Falcons. 12-4. Saints 10-6. I like the Panthers, but 6-10. And the Buccaneers. I don't know what happened with my prediction, but I have them winning three games. I think it'll be higher than that, but whatever.
I think Bruce Arians alone will improve that team. I think they've always had the weapons, and I don't know. Something about me just keeps on believing in this team for some weird reason. And it's not even believing in them, but
We've been doing it for a couple of years now. Like,
Yeah.
you think the Buccaneers are going to be fine? They're going to be good, but nope.
yeah, nope.
We've done it with like Titans before.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Bottom line is, Jameis Winston is now or never. If you're gonna play in the NFL,
Yeah.
you got to prove it right now. No more weak turnovers. No more like messing around. It's now or never. If you want to keep a job in the NFL, then show it. Show them something. I mean, you got the quarterback guru himself, Bruce Arians. So
Yeah,
ain't no
It'll be,
excuses now.
definitely interesting. I just think the Falcons, Matt Ryan, B plus quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The offense, Julio, Calvin Ridley, and Mohamed Sanu.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, Devontae Freeman stays healthy this year.
Right.
I'm banking on that though. That's why. That's one of the reasons why I have them 12-4, and then a lot of good young talent on their defense. Deion Jones, Keanu Neal. I'm just naming off the top of my head. I probably know more than that, but I just think one of those years. I mean, this is a team that was in the Super Bowl up 28-3 on the Patriots
and then collapsed.
and then collapsed, but still they were there.
Still, yeah,
They were there.
same team.
Pretty much the same.
The thing is, though, I think a lot of what made that team so great was scheme, and also
Yeah,
that two-headed monster at running back. That was really key as well because they were able to
yeah, I agree.
exploit matchups coming out of the backfield, matching up with linebackers and stuff like that. Having a two-headed monster in the backfield it's underrated in the NFL
Yeah.
these days. But I think that for that team that was really beneficial.
Uh-huh.
So now that they don't have Tevin Coleman, I don't know how that's going to work
To
out.
wrap up the podcast, I just want to run through 1 through 6 each conference
Okay.
for the playoff picture.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
So NFC, since we're talking about it, I had the Rams, the 1 seed, the Eagles, the 2 seed,
Okay.
Bears 3 seed, Falcons 4, Cowboys 5, and Seattle 6.
Okay. I have Rams 1, Bears 2, Eagles 3, Saints 4, Packers 5, and Seahawks 6.
Okay.
And then I'll do my AFC.
Okay.
I have the Steelers 1. I need to do. I should have done some revising, but it is what it is. Chargers 2, Patriots 3, Colts 4, Chiefs 5, Browns 6.
Okay. I have Kansas City 1, Indianapolis 2, Patriots 3, Pittsburgh 4, Chargers 5, and Browns 6.
Yeah, I think for your AFC is a lot closer to what it's going to be. My predictions were not my best this year.
It's all right.
I kind of
Y'all should definitely follow Rob Prospect account on Twitter. Maybe we should put some of this stuff on Twitter. If we change our predictions before the season starts, we can
update
use
y'all.
Twitter
Right.
to update y'all. But that is going to do it for Raw Prospect Podcast episode 30. Most likely the last episode
In a while.
before
But
we head off to college.
what-
I know you. Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. You
oh,
gonna say something?
yeah. But one key thing though, I figured out we can clip some of the podcast, make it into shorter videos for y'all. I'll just have to video record when I'm watching the podcast, like screen record,
Mhm.
and so I'll be able to post that on YouTube. So if you don't have time to watch the entire podcast, entire hour and a half show, whatever it is, you can just watch a little 5-minute clip.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
So by the time, assuming our next podcast is Thanksgiving or Christmas, by the time that happens, the whole college football regular season will be over
Yeah.
by late November. We'll be getting to like week 12, week 13 of the NFL season.
Yeah.
The NBA season will have started. The schedule just came out like yesterday.
Yeah.
The World Series will happen. A bunch of stuff is going on.
Yeah.
So we'll just see you guys then. This is episode 30. It's kind of ironic that we 30 episodes. We stopped right at 30.
Yeah.
It's just a good number to stop on. But I'm Michael Ween, guest Mark Thompson,
Amy
Amy
Nixon.
Nixon.
As always, it's been lit. Peace.
And
Hold on.
the time 1:24.